Yo, what's going on today, guys? It is Sam, better known as Samito, finally back with Overwatch 2 coming out tomorrow, and I figured there's no better way than to give you guys one of the iconic tier lists to help you guys know what to pick in Overwatch 2, so I'm really excited for it. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm going to be streaming Overwatch 2 pretty much every single day. Going to be a very, very action-packed October, so I'm ready for it. I'm excited. And without waiting any longer, let's get right into the action. So, got some new character models here. Let's start off with Ashe. I think Ashe, with the Mercy pocket, she's still really good, but in 5v5, she's going to have less peel, and playing Mercy is generally a bit harder to do. And since the meta, I think, is most likely going to be a very dive-heavy meta, I think Ashe and any sniper, really, besides Widowmaker, is really going to struggle because they have to play kind of up close in range where they're super diveable. So I think Ashe is going to be C tier. I don't think she's a bad hero, but if the meta ends up being divey, then I wouldn't bank on her getting played too much, but she's still a solid character all around. It's just what the game is doing at the moment that doesn't really favor her playstyle. D.Va. I think D.Va is going to be S tier. I talked to Hawk a little bit, and he was telling me that, you know, he thinks D.Va is actually, kind of slept on, especially in Overwatch 2. She wasn't that strong at the start, but especially with, a lot of the Doom nerfs coming in a flanker-heavy meta, D.Va is just going to be able to do so much. You can go for flankers, play as a flanker, and do a lot of damage. You can eat damage. You have a crazy health pool, right? D.Va can do it all, right? So D.Va absolutely going to be an S-tier character in Overwatch 2. Doomfist, Tankfist, my favorite. I know you guys are really looking forward to me playing Tankfist, but unfortunately, I'm either going to put him in C tier or B tier, right? I'll put him in B tier for benefit of the doubt, but, a lot of his techs actually just got removed, literally right before launch, which really sucks for a lot of the high skill ceiling Doomfist players, because, Doomfist and Winston, they're both dive tanks, but what made Doom different from Winston is all the techs you have on him, right? There's so many different things that you can do, and if all of those get removed, he's basically just a more bare bones Winston, right? Or just a different version of Winston. He didn't really have his unique play style. So, I think if dive is meta, Doomfist could be playable, but depending on how hard his techs got nerfed, he's either C or B tier. I don't think he's going to be able to really shine based on what Quake was telling me. Winston, I think Winston is also going to be S tier. Again, if it's a dive heavy meta, the dive tanks, the hypermobility tanks that, he's got his primal. He's got all these abilities to get him out of jail free and go for big plays as well. So I think Winston, in terms of consistency and what he's going to be able to do, is certainly going to be one of the best heroes in the game. Putting Winston in S tier. I think Zarya is going to be A tier. I think there's a lot of push maps where she can be pretty good. She can kind of fit into the dive S comp, and she kind of brawls pretty well. So I think that Zarya, with her new bubbles, especially throughout the lower ranks where, people aren't as good with cooldowns, Zarya is just a very bare bones kit that's pretty easy to get value on if you know the core of her kit. So I'm going to put Zarya in A tier. Sombra, these character models look so good, by the way. S tier. If dive is strong, I see a ton of Sombra being played. I think that's going to be the hero I play the most in Overwatch 2 to start. Maybe that or Genji. But I got to say, I think Sombra is certainly going to be a sleeper pick, and I think he's going to be super strong. Lucio, I'm going to put in A tier. I think he'll have his maps where he's really good, especially with, some dives Lucio is ran, but I think as well he's just kind of a very versatile hero. I don't know if he's going to be better than Brig with the dive comp, depending on the map. There's a lot of verticality to set up an Ana, then I think that Brig Ana will be played over Lucio, but I still think Lucio is a pretty solid pick. Ball. I think Ball is just going to be, I don't know how good Ball is going to be. I think on certain maps he can be really strong. I don't see him being better than Winston, especially if Sombra Tracer are really strong, and there's not that much for him to actually go on because everything's super mobile. But I think Ball, I don't know. I don't know what to think of Wrecking Ball. I think when Kiriko comes out, he'll be really bad because she can just counter his pile drive. But we shall see. I'm going to put Ball in B tier. Cassidy, put in C tier. I think he'll, again, if Rush is good, you could play May Cass, right? And he could be pretty strong, but I think if it's dive and he doesn't have his stun anymore, I don't see him being able to do a whole lot. Sorry, for some of you guys might know him as McCree, by the way, if you guys have not been around in the Overwatch scene for a long time. So his name got changed to Cole Cassidy. Not getting into that. We don't care. But yeah, I think that he is, I think he'll be okay. I don't think he's going to be that solid. Again, if it's the dive and he doesn't have the stun anymore. Good luck, have fun. Jay Silly, Junkrat is F tier. He's just gonna be bad. If it's super divey, there's one less tank to slow the game down. There's not really a bunker comp in the game anymore. Jay Silly is gonna need some love, so I'm gonna put Junk. I think he's gonna be one of the worst heroes in the game. F tier, Jay Silly. Genji, I'm going to put an A tier. Again, if it's super divey, Genji could really fit into that meta well. He can isolate targets, clean up fights well, especially with a proper enable from his team. So I'm going to put Genji in A tier. I hope that he ends up being good. That's just me being optimistic about the dive meta, though. We'll see. Soldier, I think I'm also going to put an A tier. I'm not sure what nerfs he got recently or buffs, but he's got, again, if throughout the ranks, Soldier is going to be a pretty good pick all around the board because, again, you got self-sustain, you can take your own angles. So if you're like a plat player or like a gold player, you know, you can kind of play Soldier and really only worry about yourself. It simplifies the game, makes your job much easier, right? So for all you low-ranked players, I do feel as though, you know, Soldier will be a pretty solid pick for you. So Symmetra, I'm going to put in B tier. She's great in rush comps with Reinhardt, right? So whenever Rein is played, she can be good. So maps like King's Row, Sim can be very good. You know, what's some other good maps? Lijiang Tower, Sim can be good. So I think Sim still definitely has her shine to it, but I think it's going to be a bit harder to play her in Overwatch 2 than Overwatch 1. Next, we have Hanzo. I'm going to put him in C tier, maybe even D tier. I think Hanzo is really going to struggle, and this is coming from someone who's played Hanzo since launch, right? I think that Hanzo was very overrated towards the end of Overwatch 1. The main reason he was good was because he could break the shields of double shield. That was meta for not meta, but a very strong comp for 2+ years, right? So now when Ashe was objectively better, statistically, top 100 leaderboard wise, like Ashe has objectively been better than Hanzo across the board. I think that when it comes down to taking actual duels, there are just more consistent heroes to do it. So, like, he'll be pickable maybe on certain maps, but if all you old Hanzo mans are coming back and expecting Hanzo to be incredibly strong, I would not bank on that. Bastion. I think Bastion's D tier. I don't know. I really don't know where to put Bastion, man. Against dive, he's going to struggle because he doesn't have his self-heal anymore. His sentry mode is okay. He could burn a Winston pretty quickly. But if D.Va ends up being good, if D.Va dive is an answer, Bastion will just be absolutely dog water. So I would not even bother playing Bastion. Brigitte, I'm going to put in A tier. They never fundamentally changed how she heals. So especially at high-level play, when you get better Brigs, you can keep their Inspire up and play at range how you're supposed to play Brig, which is a little bit misleading, like, because she is a melee character, but you actually do not want to engage with Brig. You want to play at range with your flail. She still heals an enormous amount, and I think she actually, instead of being anti-dive, has become played in most dive comps. So, ironic, right? So, yeah, I think Brig is definitely A tier. Could be better. We'll see. Sigma, I'm also going to put in A tier. I think Sig just does so much. Like, his shield, his new health. Like, he's such a raid boss tank to kill at times that I don't think he's ever going to be bad until they actually directly change him. That being said, I don't think he's going to be meta because I think dive will be really strong, but I don't think Sigma won't be played because he's bad. I think he'll be played because the other playstyles and the heroes that fit into that playstyle are just more efficient in the game. So, again, Sig, definitely going to be a sleeper pick in Overwatch 2. Tracer, obviously, anytime it's a dive meta, she's going to be really solid. I don't know how. She's either A tier or S tier. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure where to put her. I just think that she's going to end up being really good. The same goes for Sojourn. I think Sojourn is a bit of an upgrade to Soldier. I'm actually going to put Soldier in B tier instead of A tier. I'm gonna change that. I don't think Soldier's bad. I just think Sojourn with her mobility is going to be better. Again, like, the power creep just keeps on coming, right? But hey, very fun hero. I like her a lot. High skill, high reward. Good for the game. Queen. I've heard the Queen is dead, and that's not a pun on real life. Rest in peace to all my people out in England. Prayers for you and your country. Yeah, I think I got to put Queen in, well, actually, Queen is going to be C tier. I think Kiriko is going to just absolutely hard counter Junker Queen. She will just be bad. So I think Queen is going to be C, maybe D tier. We'll find out. Zenyatta, I'm going to put in A tier. If we've learned anything about Zen, guys, well, actually, if it's hard dive, I don't think Zen will get played too much. I think Zen is in Sigma's boat. Like, he's a really strong hero, right? But for what is good and fits into what's strong right now, I don't think he's going to be that fit. But Zen and a hero that does that much damage will always be on the cusp of being very good. There's a difference between a hero not being picked because they're bad or being picked because something else is better. And Zen's situation is certainly that there's something else better. So if you're a Zen main, you'll absolutely be able to play Zen. But it's going to be like the old days, right? Where it's season 5. You got to be careful of the dive, right? You got to play smart. Torb. I feel like Torb is a really sleeper pick, especially if dive is strong. Like, I think his turret is really good. Depending on the map, you can get a ton of value as Torb, especially by, like, having a turret up to defend your team. I especially in low ranks where players don't shoot turrets in the back line, I think that Torb can actually get a pretty decent amount of value. So, hey, Torb mains rejoice. I think you'll have a good time in Overwatch 2. Kiriko, moment of truth. I've seen a lot of different takes about Kiriko. You want my guess? Dude, I think she's going to be broken. Like, the more I think about the character, and not initially, right? Not initially, right? I think it's going to take, especially the Al Pros, a little bit of time of getting used to her. And this is definitely a big gamble for me to bet on this. But the reason why I'm betting on this is that over time, you've seen a lot of these quote-unquote DLC heroes get added. And when a character like Kiriko has the ability to do damage and that much extra utility on her kit, insane mobility, insane damage potential, insane ultimate, invulnerability, that granted you have to time, but good players will be able to do that pretty easily in a dive meta. Like, she's just Zen upgraded, but a little bit harder to play in terms of like how to apply your utility maybe. The one concern I have is her healing might not be enough, right? This is kind of a gamble, putting her in S tier actually. Because if it's Winston, like, what do you run with her? Do you run Lucio with her? Do you run... I don't know. I honestly don't know about this one, but I think if she's not there now, she will be as soon as the meta changes a little bit slower. We'll find out, though. I think she's either going to be S tier or A tier, one of the two. Ana, I think I'm going to put in A tier. Again, dive meta. She can really mainly be played with Brig, so if Brig, Ana are both good and dive with Winston, then, you know, it'll be a pretty good meta for Ana. Reinhardt, I'm going to put in B tier. I think Ryan will be pretty good, especially on the map, right? Sometimes he's going to struggle, especially with Kiriko. If Kiriko's played, Ryan's really going to struggle. But I think that Ryan will be a pretty solid pick across the board in most ranks. And by the way, I don't think Kiriko is going to be S tier in low ranks. I think that in higher level play, she'll be super, super strong. Pharah, D tier. Pharah, big loser in 5v5. I don't think Pharah is going to get much playtime at all. I think Echo's not on this list either. I'll talk about Echo briefly in a second. Orisa, I'm also going to put in B tier. I think if Dive's strong, like, she can kind of anchor sometimes, but she's got her own skill set, and I'm really unsure what to think about her. I think she'll be okay, though. Not top tier, not bottom tier either. Moira, I'm going to put in B tier as well. Like, maybe six-man monkey comps or six-man diva comps could be good, but mostly because diva is going to eat all of her heal orbs and make her kind of arbitrary. So, yeah, I think that Moira is definitely a tier below the rest of these supports here. Hog. You know, I'm going to put Hog in B tier. Hog could really go either way, man. I'm not really sure where to put Roadhog right now. Like, he could be terrible, or Kiriko could actually make him really good and unkillable with the cleanse, right? We'll have to wait and see. He could go either way, though. We'll find out. Mei also going to go into B tier. If Rush is good with Reinhardt, Ryan is a very good tank synergy. The same kind of goes for Reaper. Reaper can get played into that Rush comp pretty well. That's the main reason why I'm going to pick him here, but he's definitely not going to be A tier. If anything, he'll end up being C tier, but this is just a complete guess. Widow, I'm going to put in B tier. I think on the right map against Dive, if they don't have a shield, you can play it. Like, if you play Junkertown as Widow, it's going to be really hard for their Dive to actually close the distance to you, so you'll be able to find moderate value on Widow, but if you get up to the higher ranks where, like, the Dive is actually really coordinated, you're definitely going to struggle way more. Sick character model, by the way. Holy shit. BAP. I'm going to put BAP in A tier. I think the second Kiriko comes out, BAP Kiriko will be a busted comp. And it might be strong enough to counter Dive. It might, like, everyone's saying it's going to be a Dive meta. I think it probably will be a faster pace meta. But I'm just saying, dude, like, if BAP Kiriko Sig, like, that core right there could end up being so tanky that Dive just can't kill it. And that's a real possibility. And if that's the case, you're looking at a poke meta, which could actually fuck this entire list. Maybe Sojourn will get played with it too, because she can avoid the dive. We'll see though. I'm honestly not sure as to what it's going to be. Mercy, I'm putting in C tier. I don't think she's going to be that good against dive. Maybe a full poke gets played, but I think Kiriko and Bap will be a better combo. And I'm going to put Echo in B tier as well. Echo is not on this list, but I think she would be a B tier character regardless. And I don't think I missed any, but if there's any that I missed, let me know down in the comment section, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps you guys really think about what it is that you're going to pick in Overwatch 2. But the big gamble that I would say here is me putting Kiriko in S tier. I just don't see that character being bad. I just don't. There's so much on that kit, and her ult is so strong that I think she's going to be really, really good. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This is my Overwatch 2 hero tier list. That being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the game. Let's fucking go, boys. Thank you so much. See y'all later. Peace out.